Everybody. Excellent. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Everybody's kind of trickling in here. We've got some recognizable names, folks that we know are going to be competing. This session, we're going to be discussing mainly what the upcoming competition is looking like. What does participation look like? How do you sign up? How do you get your team ready to go and scheduled for this competition? And Jeff with STEMERALD City is going to be diving into that. We're really excited to have this opportunity. We've got a great sponsor, Bridge Tech, who's joined as a quadcopter sponsor and is going to help us actually push forward with the competition, getting t-shirts out to our students and to our coaches. You guys, of course, the cohort members as coaches. We've got a lot of great stuff planned for this first year of competition. Apologies for a little delay in communications. Just recently, last month, I had my first child with my wonderful wife, Lauren. So we've had a very exciting past few weeks, and that's kind of kept me as busy as I ever would imagine I would be. Jeff is very familiar with that. He's got some grown children, and I know our cohort members have kids, either their own running around or they're dealing with kids every day as teachers. So this is a new space I'm entering into, where drones aren't necessarily going to help me be successful for a little while. So without further ado, again, we're really excited for this virtual competition. It's a first of its kind, really, in the state and in the country, as far as getting students remotely to compete in a series of events. So Jeff, I know you're really excited and you've been putting in some work with Morgan and the great folks at the NCBCE in order to help push this forward. We've got a great window of opportunity for teachers to sign up. So go ahead, Jeff. I just want you to go right ahead and bring everyone up to speed. Tell us what's in store with this competition.
All right, excellent. You know, folks, first and foremost, Paul has been busy because I have yet to meet my nephew, Theo Joseph Rossi. I'm his funkle, the fun uncle, and I intend to spoil him. And I think that's why Lauren and Paul won't let him anywhere near me, because they know once Funkle Jeff gets a hold of him, he's going to be spoiled rotten. So having said that, let me start this meeting by saying I'm tired. And I know all of you are too. As educators, you know, this is that time of year, right? It's closeout. It is definitely closeout time of the year. You know, we've got testing going on, and I'm not going to even talk about what we've had to deal with this school year, because we all know what we've had to deal with. But the thing is, we all know this is the time of the year that you just got to find it, dig deep, and get a hold of it and power through it. Okay. And I'm doing the same. So I take my hat off to all of you, because as classroom teachers and educators, you know, you've got a ton of things that you have to do now to close out the year. And, you know, now you've opted for this drone competition, which is like one more thing that you don't need on your plate. But we all know this is for children. It's about making learning tangible and fun for children. So for that, I take my hat off to everyone in this cohort, but specifically those of you that opted in for this competition, okay? So Paul and I are here, and we're gonna power through this with you. So there's a couple of things I wanna go through about the competition itself, and kind of give you some coaching points for your students as well. So let me start with the coaching points. Let me get my, let's see here. Now, I'm going to turn my overhead on. Guys, if you see some little black ants, I mean, I just got back to my office today, so I had to call my landlord and tell him we got black ants in the building. I guess they're all trying to get out of that 90-something degree heat we have. But So I just wanted to let you know that if you see something crawling across this white table, it's not a mini micro nano drone, it's an ant. Okay, so let me switch my camera real quick. All right. Oh, good. And let me pull this guy over here a little bit. There we go. And I think everybody should be able to see my little drone here. Okay, so let's talk about the competition. What can you expect and what can your students expect? I'm also going to share out my screen. And let me put my document over there. Okay, so we've all seen this, right? This is the basic set of missions that we've been using, and nothing's going to change there, okay? But now it won't be the exact same mission, I can assure you of that. But it won't change to a point where we'll throw any new wrinkles in that you have not seen. However, some of the things you want to coach your students and your competitors on is make sure that they thoroughly read the mission, because the wording will be extremely important. I just came from Druid Hills Academy in Charlotte. I've been doing 2 days worth of PD out there, and I just got back into my office, and I mean literally just got back in. I was fighting trying to make this webinar. But I noticed that as students were reading going through the missions, at times they were missing certain keywords. So make sure that they thoroughly read the mission before they begin coding, because points will be taken off if they don't if the code does not match the actual mission. So for example, let me go to one of these missions here. Oh, here we go. So the drone must take off from waypoint 1, fly forward to about 10 feet between waypoints 3 and 4, turn and fly back in the opposite direction. Okay, so we've all seen this mission. However, I've noticed that sometimes the students will misread it, and notice that it says here, and right here, turn and fly back in the opposite direction, okay? Some students will program the drone to simply fly backwards. That is not what the mission states. The mission states that they have to turn and fly back. Let me zoom out a little bit here. I think that's as far as it'll go. So when it says turn, coach your students to that when they see the word turn, that it means y'all. Okay? Let me say that again. Very, very important. That when they read and they see the word turn, that is synonymous with y'all. And if the judges are looking at the final flight, and of course Paul and I will be there as well, we will point those things out, that the drone did not turn. Okay, they simply told the drone to fly backwards, and that is incorrect. So coach your students on those terms, on the word turn. Let's see, let's go to mission number 2. Okay, the drone must take off from waypoint 1, fly left. Okay, I noticed that some students, when they read this mission, they mistook fly left for turn left and then fly forward. Well, that's incorrect. Okay, that is incorrect. It is a fly left. That means the drone takes off and flies to the left. That's what we're saying. So that's another key coaching point for your students. Read the mission thoroughly. Okay, they have an hour to complete the missions, but it's important that they do read it thoroughly to make sure. And then once again, we said turn and fly back in the opposite direction. Once again, keyword turn. That's a yaw. So we won't be using the exact missions, but they will be similar, but we will not deviate from what you've been coaching your students on from these basic missions. But we will add a few known wrinkles to it to make the students actually think. Now, if you look at mission 3, and some of you have already noticed this, in mission 3, we start giving the students a little less information, okay? Because we say the drone must take off from waypoint 1, fly forward about 3 feet, turn right, fly forward, and land at waypoint 4. So that means the drone has to go ahead. It has to go 3 feet. Then it has to turn. Once again, key word, turn, which is a yaw, turn right and fly forward. Well, if it's got to land, and let me bring up the menu here, and I'm going to duplicate this real quick. Okay, so if the drone itself is going to fly forward, right, 3 feet, that's about 3 feet. Then it has to turn and fly to waypoint 4. The question becomes, what is this angle? And it's worded that way. It's worded to make the students think as to, okay, we have to turn and fly forward. Well, if we're going to turn and fly forward to waypoint 4, what's that angle? So make sure that if you're coaching your students, that they are working mission number 3 and that they thoroughly understand mission number 3, okay? I'm going to say this again. Make sure that you go over mission number 3 with your students, because there will be a similar mission in the competition for that's related or worded similar to mission number 3, okay? Let's see. And then in mission number 4, we said the drone must take off from waypoint 1, fly forward about 5 feet, turn right, okay, fly forward and land at waypoint 4. Well, once again, same thing. Similar thing. We just extended the mission. So we're saying the drone has to fly forward about half the distance, right? 50 feet. Or 50 inches. And then we want to go, 60 inches, and then fly to waypoint 4 and then land for 5 seconds. Well, if you read the next part of the mission, it says, turn right, fly forward, and land at waypoint 2. Well, if we're going to turn to the right and fly and land at waypoint 2, the first thing that you want to coach your students on understanding is that's a 180-degree angle, because they're opposites, okay? They're opposites. So you're simply going to turn 180 degrees in the opposite direction and then fly to waypoint 2. So in this mission, we didn't give a whole lot of information. We just said turn and fly, turn right and fly. So you can definitely count on that first mission being the icebreaker, and it will be basically simple. I'll say that it'll be something sort of similar to this, but as they go to mission 2, 3, and 4, we start pulling out more and more information. I would also make sure that your students have a copy of this compass, okay? This is going to be important, and each member needs to have a copy of the compass. So whether your students are in the same room, socially distanced, or whether they're at home, they need to have a copy of this compass. Everybody does, because it could make the difference between them getting the mission correct or not. Couple of other coaching points. For example, let's say, I'm going to put the drone over here, okay? And then I'm going to, I'll use this little Apple TV remote. Okay, so let's talk about your yaw and how to properly use the yaw in terms of getting a better score. So let's just say, for argument, the remote is waypoint 1, where the drone takes off. So the drone takes off from waypoint 1. It goes to the left, and then it goes upward, okay? So now the mission might read that the drone has to turn at an angle, right? Turn at an angle and return to waypoint 1, which is the remote. Well, think about this, guys. If you tell the drone to yaw left 180 degrees, you're essentially spinning and adding more space between the drone and the intended target. But if we were to do a yaw right, now all of a sudden the drone spins on this axis, and now look, it's lined up directly with the waypoint. And this is going to allow your students to then, the drone's going to go forward. Now your chances of scoring more points go up because your chances of landing closer to the target is goes up as well. So let me do that one more time. So let's say the drone takes off from waypoint 1, okay? And it flies left, and then it flies up 10 feet. Now, once again, if your students look at where the drone is, because keep in mind, they're going to get 2 chances at this. And if the first time the drone lands away from the target, they could look at that and say, well, you know what? We need to change our yaw. We did a yaw left and we've got distance. If we do a yaw right, we might get a better score. So they could then come back, do a yaw to the right. Wait a minute. Yaw to the left, I'm sorry, yaw to the left, and look at how it spins, because this is the way the drone spins. The drone's gonna spin on this axis, okay? When you do a yaw left, it's gonna spin on this axis. Long day, guys, I'm sorry. Axis. It's gonna spin on this axis, and when it does, it's gonna spin, and now it's more in alignment with the target. So make sure you're coaching your students on the use of their yaw, okay? You want to yaw toward the target, not away from the target. So if we fly left and then fly forward, then we're going to yaw to the right so that we can be in front of the target, okay? Something to watch during the to coach your students on, so that come tournament or competition time, they will be set and ready to go. I saw something pop up in the chat, and let's see, it says, is the perimeter the same as in the practices, or will it be different? Very good question, Matthew. Spoken like somebody that's gonna compete next week. It could be the same. It could be different, but they will receive a map, okay? They will receive a map of the grid, and we'll take it from there. We won't make the grid entirely too large because, you know, I mean, I think 10 by 6 is as large as we get, but we may break it down to 9 by 7 or something like that. But you will get a map, but the perimeter may not be the same, Matthew. And then Joseph says, mission 4 and land on waypoint 4. Would they land in front of the cone? Where exactly is the target? Of course, it cannot land on the waypoint itself. Right, exactly, Joseph. But what we're looking at in terms of grading is how far does the drone land from the cone, okay? And the students will get points if they land, if they land outside of a foot, then there are no points given, okay? But if they go inside of a foot, and let's say they're within a foot, it's a complete mission, and they will get points for that, okay? They go ahead, Paul.
And Jeff, I was going to say, you correct me if I'm wrong, but for the tournament, it's going to be a pad, not a cone,
Right.
in order to
Yeah.
determine, like you were saying, the actual distance. Because if it goes past or it doesn't, if it lands short, it's a measurement. And if it lands in the center, it's going to be able to land in the center, correct?
That's correct. Right. We're going to use, we're just going to probably pull the mission pads and use those. But yeah, so if it lands on the pad, you're going to get the full 10 points, right? And if it lands within an inch of the pad, 12 inches of the pad, you'll get a certain number of points. And you know, you'll get points in between, but a landing on the pad or touching of the pad will yield 10 points, the full number of points for your students. But yes, they could land on the actual pad. So you will see the mission pads that come with your kit. All of mine are in the car for the moment because I've been at a middle school doing drones today. So I had to rush upstairs, so I don't have one of those mission pads with me. But you should have mission pads in your drone kit. Okay, so the next question is it a one shot at the mission or multiple tries? You get 2 shots, Matthew, 2 shots. Now the students the students can opt to keep their initial first try. If they know that, I mean, hey, if the first try lands on the mission pad, I wouldn't try it again, keep the points. However, if the students feel that they could get a better opportunity at scoring points by trying the mission again, then we will give them that second opportunity, and we will take the best out of the 2. Okay. And Paul, real quick, Matthew has not received his mission pads. He said there were no mission pads in the box. So I'm not sure if you could take a look into that at some point. All right, keep the questions coming, guys. Joseph said he did not either. And yeah, guys, you would know if you got those mission pads because there's 4 of them and they're multicolored. Okay, so April as well. So guys, if you will email Paul directly and just let him know that you have not received them, because I'm thinking in between working and feedings and all that, he's probably not checking. He's probably checking out on us right now behind that camera, but I'm not mad at him. All right, so more questions, keep them coming. I also noticed today while I was working with students at Druid Hills, guys, we came up with some great ideas. So let me talk about those real quick. Think about this. We were thinking about drone cornhole. Yeah, drone cornhole. So you could set up these hoops or something on opposite sides, and you know the person on the other side can't really tell what the distance is. They have to guess. So and you can constantly mix it up. So we tried that with some students, and it worked out pretty well. Okay, now for your competition day, we need to know what day that you plan to join the competition. So let me do this. I'm sharing out right now. Let me put the document up here. Make sure I've got everything here. Okay, so right now I have Matthew for Thursday the 13th and Friday the 14th. he's entering in 2 teams. And then I have April. April, I have you on Wednesday the 12th at 10 a.m. Is that correct? And I don't see any other sign-ups at this point. Now, we've got the week of the 10th and the week of the 17th. Those are the 2 weeks that you have to be able to fill in. And we're going from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Wait a minute, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. the week of the 10th, and 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. the week of the 17th, okay? So, and we're going all week. The last day for any part of the tournament, I'm sorry, I didn't scroll down. That's going to be 8 to 4 on that day as well. I was kind of wondering why we cut it off at 2, but I didn't scroll down. Sorry about that, guys. But the Friday the 21st is the absolute last day to actually enter, get your team into the competition. So if you could just let us know what days you intend to compete, that would be great. No worries, Ellen. And feel free to send that link out, because we'll be sharing the link so that people can kind of view what's going on from the web. Feel free to send that out to your students, to your principals, or anything like that, to let them know that, look, this is going to happen next year, and hey, we could all get ready. Yes. Having student names would be great, Matthew. That way we kind of know before they come into the session, and we can address them as such. I think people feel more personable when you call them by your name. And it says, Joseph says, doesn't the scale of the map in relation to protractor affect the angles? It could, however, when it talks about the angles will not be accurate every time, okay? So I know with the 10x6 grid, the angle was pretty much 30 when you're trying to go to waypoint 3. But with another grid, it could change a little bit. But keep in mind, Joseph, when we do it, if we do it with middle schoolers, those missions will be the same for everybody throughout the entire competition for all middle schoolers. We won't give each middle school team a different, setup. We'll do the same missions for the high school, same missions for the middle school. Okay. But now, once again, make sure they have that protractor, the compass, so that they can visually look and see, all right, if we did 30 and then something didn't go right, all right, let's all agree to switch it to 25, or let's all agree to switch it to 20 to see what happens. Jennifer says, I did sign up, but maybe didn't fill out the thing right. Okay, Jennifer, if you can just let us know what days you want to, what day you want to do it, we'll go ahead and plug you in. No worries. No worries at all. And then Sierra, oh, thank you, Sierra. She's providing the link, guys. There's the link. Now, Sierra, you are new to, aren't you new to NCBCE? Could you want to come in? Oh, well, would you like to, is she a panelist, Paul? She's not a panelist. No, she's not a panelist. Okay, Jennifer says that she did fill it out. Okay, it just hadn't been put in yet, maybe. Yes, I can see this. Yes. Okay, I tell you what, Paul, let me see if I can get you guys into the Zoom session. Give me a second. Forward this over. All right, Sierra, I am sending you a link, and this is for the panelists. If you will kindly join us, we'd be glad to have you. So it is on its way. Okay, so Sierra, if you will check your email. Joseph, as soon as Morgan and Sierra, they're kind of controlling this document, which is good because they really don't want me doing it. Soon as we kind of finish this up, we will get a copy out to everyone. Okay, and I need to promote her as a panelist. All right, let me see that. Sierra, more, promote to panelists. All right, Sierra, I believe you are a panelist now, and I am going to stop sharing. There you go. Can you?
Hi.
There we go. I can hear you.
Can everyone else hear me? I'm sure they can. But yes, I sent out an email, a reminder email yesterday with the link to sign up for your time slots. So we're going to have you guys put in for 3 time slots that work for you, and then we'll get back to you about which one we are able to get the judges for. So you can use that link in the chat, or you can go back through your email. If you didn't receive that email, please message me. My email is Sierra, Ciera, .tucker@nc.gov. Send me a message and I'll make sure I get that link to you.
Okay, I'm gonna put that in the chat here. I got it right here. Were there any more questions for Sierra, guys? Let's see. Okay, there we go. Sierra, we got to quit running into each other. Didn't we just meet like a week ago at?
Yeah, just like a week or 2 ago with Ready Set App. Another fun event we do, if you guys want to be involved in that next year, we'll start planning for that in the fall. So let me know.
And let me, was Morgan here? I see Morgan. There she is. Morgan, I'm going to promote you as well to panelists. There you go.
Okay, there I am. Hi. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Sorry, it was such an odd feeling. Sierra and I were texting. I was like, they can't hear us. We're trying to tell them about how to sign up. Sorry about that. So we also, I just wanted to let you know too, Jeff and Paul, that we have, we mentioned today at the Remote Learning Working Group, the drone competition, that we were looking for more judges and sponsors, and we did find 3 more people who want to be judges. So I'm going to connect with y'all about that. And I know on the document, there's the judges scoring form, that there's a link to that. Is that fine if I share it with them, the judges? Okay. You're muted, but is that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. And so excited about that. And then Bridge Tech is a sponsor, so which is great. And they're sponsoring, and Chris Turpin is going to be one of the judges. He's volunteered.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
Okay. So perfect. And then y'all know to connect with Sierra if you have any questions about signing up or anything, any of the teams.
Absolutely. Yep. All right. So let's see here. Close that out. So you'll share that out. So let me recap real quick, everybody, because I know everybody, your day's been like mine. So, I'm not going to hold everybody longer than I have to. I just want to say that, okay, so let me recap real quick. We make sure that your contestants, that your students are thoroughly reading the mission, because we will slide in some keywords that that will kind of throw them a little bit if they don't read the actual mission. You know, if they don't look at the word turn and associate that with yaw. Sometimes, as I said before, we'll take out specific information. We won't give them the distance. We'll just say, and once again, in mission 3, turn right. So you got to tell us the actual heading in degrees. Fly forward. Well, here's the interesting thing. Fly forward, how far? Well, if we know that the distance from here to here is 10 feet, you know, then that's how far they have to fly. But you won't know that if you don't read the mission and someone's not looking at the map. So make sure you're coaching your students to look at the map, look at the mission, and then start coding. Okay. Another part of this competition, we talked about the actual yaw, the turning, right? So let me go back to my little overhead here. Make sure that your students are looking at where the drone has to take off, and this is part of the mapping, and where it is in terms of the waypoint, and how, you know, what side of the waypoint it's on. Because if it's on the left side of the waypoint, then you definitely want to yaw right. Right? And because if it was on the right side of the waypoint, you definitely want to yaw left, because yawing left or right is going to put you right over the target. And that could make the difference in points. I guarantee you, one of the teams that wins this thing for that grade level, they will have put this into practice. Okay. So definitely something to keep in mind. And, you know, even though this is like a drone competition, ladies and gentlemen, this is a competition about teaching students how to think. That's what this competition is about. Okay. The drone is just nothing more than a lure. Question. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. So we're good to go there. Any additional questions, guys? Anybody have anything you want to put in the chat? Okay. Matthew is saying, when will the map be sent? Morgan or Sierra, I'm pretty sure you guys are working hard as you can. If you can follow up with Matthew on that. Matthew's just an eager beaver. I thought I was an eager beaver. No, this dude just trumps me on everything in terms of energy and enthusiasm. And I just want to say this real quick. Matt is we've kind of worked on this the map. Oh, that's on me. You will see the map, Matthew, on competition day. Okay. We will send your students the map, and we'll give you the map on competition day. They'll get a chance to read it and look at it. They'll get a few minutes to kind of go over it, talk about it as a team. But here's one of the things you could do. Try changing things up. When they're practicing, instead of a 10 by 6, make it a 9 by 7. Okay. Instead of a 10 by 6, make it a 10 by 5, just so that they get used to understanding that, you know, it's just not going to be an exact duplicate of what they're doing. But I just wanted to thank Matthew, because he and I have been kind of working on this Python thing. This upcoming year, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see a Python curriculum for the Tello that's come out of this cohort. And Matthew, I mean, he was just a rock star on this as well. So that's what this cohort is about. It's about, you know, igniting that passion in all educators, but also, coming up with new ideas that's going to make learning in the classroom a lot better. Ellen said, was there supposed to be a landing mat in our box? Okay, no, there's not supposed, well, there's supposed to be some landing, what we call the mission pads, but it's sounding like none of them came with mission pads. That's what I'm thinking. So I'll have to have Paul look into that. And it says, how much time is it going to take? Hey, Phyllis, how you doing? Thanks for the like on LinkedIn. Each team will get an hour to compete. Okay, they will get 1 hour to compete, to complete all 4 missions. And that's what I've seen in my in my experience with this. 1 hour is about enough time to complete all 4 missions if everybody is just sort of getting into it and doing what they need to do, and that'll come from good coaching. Okay. So Joseph says, what is the size of the pads so we can practice? Oh, okay. They are 12 by 12, 12 inches by 12 inches. So there's 1 square foot, almost like a tile on your floor. That's what it is. It's about like so you could make it with a piece of paper if you do a 12 by 12 or something like that. Hold on a second. Let me see if I've got one in my car so I can make sure I tell you the right thing. Let's see. That landing pad, ladies and gentlemen, is basically the size of your box that the drone came in. And I'm going to measure it right now. Let's see here. In terms of inches, I've got my trusty, it's basically the dimensions of the box, but let's see here. Got my calipers here. So that is 6 inches, and then about 2, so that's about 8 inches. That box is about 8 inches, so it's 8 by 8. Okay, so if you use the size of your box and cut out some construction paper, you should be fine. Now, one of the things that we will do for the competition, Paul and I will be setting up a takeoff pad, which is basically used from the packaging in the box. We'll tape it to the floor. We'll make sure that the drone is pointing straight, because that's going to be important. If that drone is not pointing straight, then it's going to, when it takes off, it's going to fly crooked. So we will set that, and we'll ensure that the drone takes off from the same place for everybody in the competition, so that things are competitive on that end. I have a question from Ellen. It says, are most teams going to have your students live with you during the competition, or will any of you have your teams remotely doing the competition? So feel free to chime in there, ladies and gentlemen. And it says, meaning the coaches have the students in the same room versus doing it totally virtual with students. It's all about what works best for your district, okay? Because we are in no position to tell you whether or not you should, could, or would have students in your classroom. That is a site-based issue. If it's possible, it's a great idea, okay? You can socially distance them in the same room. You could possibly put it up on a smart board so that they can all see it and they can collaborate. That would be an optimal setup. But if you have a student who is going to be virtual, okay? So let's talk about this real quick. If you have a student who's going to be virtual, we need to know and make sure that we can grant that student access to the drone if that becomes, if that's needed. Because keep in mind, you're going to have one of your students that's going to be coding the drone and taking input from the other members of the team. But if that particular student who is going to be virtual may be coding the drone, we want to make sure we have stable internet. That's a must. But we also need to make sure that if they're using a Chromebook and it's a district issued Chromebook, that we can grant them access to the drone. So we'll just need to know that up front. You can just email me directly about that, because that is a technical issue and I'll be glad to help you address that. So I've got Matthew says, I will have my students in my classroom. Joseph said live. I was trying to learn how to program and faced it the wrong way and cut off one of my plants. Yeah, I've been there, Ellen. I had a student today after at Druid Hills. I told them specifically, do not use the fly up command. Well, boy, did he use it, to the point it got stuck up there in the rafters and it was dangling from something. And it took me 5 minutes to throw a Nerf ball up there to get it off the ceiling. So I understand. Phyllis says they will be remote. Okay, Phyllis, so send me an email. I just kind of need to know what devices they have, and we're going to do a couple of little test things to make sure everything goes smoothly for your students, okay? And Ellen says our kids will be totally virtual next year. That's fine. My students will be in the classroom. Great, April. Oh, what not to do with drone flying. Yeah, right. Joseph says, nice shirt. Oh, you like this, huh, Joseph? Yeah. You know, I'm an old 80s rap guy, so, you know, kind of rhyme with what Sir Mix-a-Lot was talking about, you know, so, yeah. But yeah, guys, look, and I know this is you know, this meeting and going into this competition could be a little intense right now, but honestly, I'm telling you, just relax. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this. Paul's gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun. Everybody's gonna have fun with it, because hey, it's the first time we've ever done it. So who's gonna tell us we're doing it wrong? That's what I love about it. It's a first, and guess what? We all get to be a part of it. And yeah, we get to look back after this over a year from now and talk about how tired we were and how burnt out we were. But guess what? We pushed on and we did it for our students. So once again, I take my hat off to all of you. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can email me directly or you can call me. Let me put the number in there again. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or ease any fears you may have. 0198. That's my number. You can text me at, oh, wait a minute. I just sent that to only Paul. Paul doesn't need my number. He has it and he still doesn't call me. So 360. I'm just kidding, Paul. He's a little sensitive lately, becoming a dad and all. So there we go. To everybody. And Ellen, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going this direction. I can't thank the NCBCE, Morgan, Caroline, Sierra, everything that you've done this year to really promote education for our students in North Carolina. I've personally been a part of it. We've done some great things in Edgecombe County, and we're still doing great things now. And I can't thank you guys enough. It really warms my heart to see that.
But we have a lot of fun doing it. So
yeah,
thank you.
You're very welcome. And we're going to have even more fun. I think this drone competition is just going to be, as the kids say, off the hook. And we're going to do everything to make it that way. So now for me, I've got 7 minutes before I have to jump into my last session of the day. I work with a group of an after-school program with the 21st Century Learning Center at Fayetteville. And those kids get really antsy when I don't show up on time. They're always looking for the next challenge that I throw at them. So, any more questions? All right, well, guys, it's been a great ride that we've had here. We're not done yet, but we're coming into the home stretch, and I can't wait to see what your students do with those drones. And I just can't wait for next year. We're gonna have so much fun. So with that, everyone, have yourself a great evening. And if there's anything we can do, always give us a call. Till then, we'll see.